seen much positive things about a certain person that did something this week. Don't know whether you've seen what happened this week. Lots of things have happened this week. People have been arrested for saying things about what happened this week. So I'd probably best not say anything about what has happened this week. But things have happened. Yeah, if anyone wants to talk about it. Hello, Philip. I mean, I'm not a royalist. I mean, there's a lot of people that say if you can't say anything nice about a person, there's also people that say the only good whatever is a whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I was expecting, hello, how's it going? Fine with me. I mean, nothing really wrong here. I've seen a lot of things on my internet feed. I don't really know what to say about it. I think that I'm in a bit of a echo chamber because I haven't really seen an awful lot that's positive about the dear old Queen. No, exactly. All I know is we've got a new king and we've got a Prince of Wales. Not everybody wants a new king, and I don't think very many people want a new Prince of Wales. And I think it's going to cause problems that they have not foreseen. All because of Thursday when we lost a queen. What sort of queen? The Queen! Was she nice? Who can say? Some people say yes, and then others say no. But I can't say anything bad about the Queen because apparently it's illegal. So we better say nice things about somebody that's regal. Oh, the regal people that have been this week. We've got a new king and we've got to put up with it, basically. And so we have to do what we have to do. A lot of people have been saying about a prophecy of Nostradamus. I thought that they'd all run out by now. They were written a long time ago and they're open to interpretation, but a lot of people are pointing out that a particular translation of the quatrains has said that the Queen will die in 2022, age 96. It's like, oh, is that real? And that Charles is going to abdicate. It's like, yes, but that's interesting. I don't think that. I think it's just a coincidence because I think it was a fairly good guess. I think 96 is a good age. It's not a good age if it's the age that you die, obviously. That's a bad age for you because it's better than 100 and... It's not worse. It's worse. It's worse than 102. It's better than 92. I don't know what to say about that, really. Now, it's saying that nobody is watching this broadcast at all, but I've got one thumbs up, so somebody must be there. I am neither Republican or a royalist either, Philip. Was it Philip that said that? That's a good point. But I don't like to have people telling me what to do, and I don't like the fact that he's a liege lord too, because that means that we are all serfs and things, and that's not something that I want to think about, although it's probably true. I thought we got rid of the feudal system. I thought it was a long time ago, but it turns out that the feudal system is alive and well, and we all have to kowtow and we all have to bow down. We all have to do what we don't want to do, and we've all got a king and we've got a prince too, and everyone says, oh, whoop-de-doo, and the colonies say, what? And everyone who says things should have gone better. I know the British Empire has been gone quite a while, but maybe it should have been gone before that. And maybe we should have kept the hat with a big old diamond that we should have given back, and we shouldn't have stolen it in the first place, and we shouldn't have stolen the Elgin marbles, and we shouldn't have stolen all those lands far away, and we shouldn't have really kept them for so long. But what can you say? Oh, what can you say? What can you say? We can say, give them back now. We can say, do you really, really want to be the King, Charles? It's a bit of an effort, and you're getting on a little bit, and it's a bit of a time to start at your time of life. And maybe you should just stay at home with your wife. And maybe you should think about all of that strife. And maybe you should go, is it worth all that trouble? And maybe, just maybe, it is not worth that trouble. And maybe I should have thought of a different rhyme to trouble, like bubble or hubble. Yes, let's look at the Hubble telescope, if you may. And tomorrow is so far away. And I don't know where I'm going with this. I really don't. I'm making it up on the spot. I think you probably noticed that. Because nobody's talking to me, and usually I like to interact. But at the moment, nobody is willing to interact. So here is my guitar. Here is my guitar. Here is my guitar. Last week we saw a Stuart Lee special, and this week we are not going to see the second part because unfortunately somebody died, and we can't have any comedy, and we can't have any jolly music. So it's a good job that this is not music or jolly, and all I can say is I hope I don't get arrested for playing this guitar in a way that really should probably be banned. Don't ban me. Oh yes! We had a new Prime Minister! I just remembered that. It's been a bit overshadowed. And the cost of living. Guys, Murray said it was irrelevant now. I don't think it's irrelevant now. I think we should probably focus on that and maybe not put the big old hat on a person that it probably wouldn't suit, and keep it in a big old loot box and give it back to who it was with before, or sell it for the benefit of all the poor. And I think that somebody better stop me soon, because I keep going on and I keep trying to croon, and this is not working, and this is not a song, and it is going on for far too long. So somebody better stop me before I say something unwise like, oh, republicanism. Hello, is anybody there? They gave the Blarney Stone back to Scotland, but the Blarney Stone back to Scotland, you say? Ah, yes, people have been talking, but I did not see the comments. They did not come up. I did not see them. A bank holiday, yes, well, about that bank holiday, I'm not working full-time now, but I was on sort of a 0 hours contract, so if I had a day off, I would not get paid for it. So stick your bank holiday into your hat, and by hat, I mean that big old crown with a big old Colin-or diamond in the top that we should give back, I think. It costs a lot, and it's quite a scandal how we got it in the first place. Yes, the Stone of Scone. It is not said Scone. It is not said Scone. Scone. not said scone. It is a scones. It is a stone of scone. It is a spoon of scone. Scone, scones, gone, scone, scone. It's not gone. It's still there. The stone of scone. It's not good with cream and jam on, because it would break your teeth. And the Blarney Stone is still in Ireland as far as I know, and it's pretty much stuck to the top of a building, and I don't think anyone's gonna take it anywhere. And if you kiss it, you will probably get COVID anyway, so best not kiss the Blarney Stone. Best not take it away. And is there a curse on any of the things that we took, and should we give it all back? Oh, are you shocked by the suggestion that we should do that or not? Do you think we should just keep it all? Keep the lot. Maybe Philip? Maybe Philip what? Terry? Maybe Philip ate the scone? COVID is airborne, yes, but if you've just kissed the Blarney Stone, just after somebody else has kissed the Blarney Stone, then I would guess that there's air on it as well as spit. And it's probably not worth it. And also there's a lot of people in the queue, so when you're queuing, then it will stew. And when you get to the front, you've already left it too late, and maybe you should have stayed at home. Maybe you should wait a couple more months until it's all past. Do you know what I'm scared of? It's a sleepy sickness. You know, like in Sandman or in real life, like in Awakenings, with Oliver Sacks and Robert De Niro and Robin Williamson, who played Oliver Sacks. It is not the man who mistook his wife for a hat. It is the other one. The other one. With people that took the drug, I can't remember what it's called, that helped to kill Parkinson and helped to get people back sort of living after they'd been sort of comatose for a long time. I can't remember where I started with this. Something about... Oh, the sleepy sickness, yes. I maybe am already suffering from that. I was always terrified about suffering from that because it came just after the big old flu stuff about 100 years ago or so, and loads of people got it, and loads of people kept it, and loads of people slept for a very long time. And I'm very, very scared that's going to happen to us all again, because nobody really knew what it was in the first place. And I know Neil Gaiman thinks it was because the Sandman got captured, but I think that might be a fictional story, and that Sandman dream, does not really exist. Flow Morpheus slow, that's the sound of life comes streaming, blah 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 blah. Anyway, I'm getting a very sore finger here. It says there's only one person, but people have been interacting with me, so I'm going to say that one person represents 1,000 million people. There's so many people watching me at the moment. God, it's wrong. It's a stone of scoon. You're right, Terry. You've caught it on. It is that stone of scoon. Oh, the stone of scoon. There's lots of stones, right? Isn't there? The Stonehenge, and there's London Stone. The London Stone is in the city of London, and it's embedded in a wall. They had it somewhere else, but now it's behind a lump of perspex, and you have to really peer at it. But apparently, if you take that away, then London will fall. So it lies. Who lies? John Barry, Florida Fantasy. Some people tell us, oh, well, that's very, very flattering. John Barry. Oh, yes. John Barry. because I tuned this guitar just before I came on air, if you can call this air. So it sounds a little bit more melodic than it usually does. So I'm not being cheerful because we're not allowed cheerful music, as I've said. YouTube lies, I see, it lies. I didn't know what you meant then, but you're very correct because 3 people have been talking to me, at least 3 people. And one of them liked my guitar, as my guitar gently weeps, it gently weeps, because of all the sad things that happened this week, like people dying. Us getting a new Prime Minister, which is pretty bad. Well, I suppose it might be better than the last one, or it might be worse. Nobody can tell. As Clive Murray said, it's all a bit irrelevant now. That's not what he meant, but it's what I've taken from what he said. I tell you what, the princes, the princesses, the prince and the princesses, the Archie and Lilibet, I'm quite happy that they're princes and princesses, and I think they should be. And if the rumour is true that Prince Charles is going to take that away from them, snatch it away from those poor little children, I for one will be most disgruntled. Because there's only 3 members of the royal family that I have any regard for. One of them used to be in Suits and the other 2 are children, and I don't really give a toss about the rest. You can if you want, but yeah. And they are the 3 that are getting the most abuse, and they are the 3 that people are refusing to shake the hands of, especially the one that used to be in Suits. I'm not talking about Harvey Specter here. I'm talking about Rachel Zane. She was the best thing in Suits by a long way, apart from Harvey Specter, obviously. Rachel Zane was a really good character, and the person that played her was really good as well. And she's done lots of good things for charity, and she's all the things that you say you want in a royal family, but you don't really want, do you? Because everybody's horrible, especially the British press. One thing you can be certain of, people are going to be really, really horrible. Stone of Scorn, yes, it used to sit under Westminster Abbey, boop-a-dee-doo. That's something else that people have been mean about this week. Ariel the mermaid lives under the sea, and creatures that live under the sea do not look like you and me, but she looks like some people, and she doesn't look like others, and she's got red hair like some of my brothers. I don't have any brothers with red hair, but like some of our brothers, she's got red hair. It's not bright red, but who has bright red hair except for cartoon characters? And she's not a cartoon character, and she lives under the sea, where the sky does not get seen, and the reason people have white or brown skin is because of the vitamin D. And if there's no reason for vitamin D under the sea, because you get it from the sea, then there's no reason for you to be as pale as me, because I'm very, very pale, as you can see. And that's because I need lots of vitamin D. But if I lived under the deep blue sea, I would really not need so much vitamin D. I could get it from seaweed, I could get it from squid. Do they have vitamin D in them? I would assume that they did. So, if you're going to see any films this year or next year, whenever it's out, then please do give me a shout if you've got a problem with somebody's skin, because it's a mermaid and they don't even exist anyway. And anyway, she sounds pretty good to me, and that's all I've got to say. Except, obviously, the Disneyfication of the Hans Christian Andersen tale. Let's call it a tale. Let's call it a moralistic tale in the real one, where at the end she's punished for her transgressions and she ends up all dead in the sea, and so does the prince, and nobody ends well. Obviously Disney did not want that. Understandable, because you would not. That's depressing, and it's not really a children's friendly film, is it, if that happens? But Hans Christian Andersen, he's a bit of a... I mean, I wouldn't have thought they're ever going to make the Red Shoes into a film, and if they do, and they make it a happy ending, then it sort of takes away from the point of it, because Hans Christian Andersen, he was a bit of a sadist, if you read his things. He really didn't like women, and he says lots of awful things, and his moral compass was a little bit wrong, and he thinks that dancing is gonna make you evil, and you dance until your feet get cut off, and that's not very good for anyone at all. And come to think of it, the mermaid in the mermaid thing also had a problem with her feet, because every time she walked on them she got broken glass in her feet. It felt like it anyway, and that wasn't very nice for poor old mermaid, poor young mermaid. Because Hans Christian Andersen, he's really not the sort of person you want to write a film about. But they did, and Danny Kaye played him in a very nice film, but Danny Kaye was an awful lot nicer than Hans Christian Andersen, I would suspect. Although even Danny Kaye's got his problems, but he came across as a nice person, so that's all right. Danny Kaye. Anyway, how did we get from that to this? Also, the Snow Queen, which Disney made into Frozen, which has got nothing to do with the Snow Queen. Snow Queen actually is quite a good tale, because there's all of Hans Christian Andersen. It's like wicked people who are very concerned about their looks and vanity, and it all gets stripped away. And you want to dance? Oh, you evil, terrible person! You will dance until your feet bleed to pieces. Oh, you want to be a beautiful person, mermaid. No, you stick with what you've got. Now we will punish you forever, and you won't be able to speak or sing, and your feet will hurt. My feet hurt from the big long walk, so I'm sort of with the whole feet hurting thing. But Snow Queen, you've got Kay and Gerda saves Kay. He gets a piece of mirror in his eye. He gets a piece of mirror in his eye that makes him see all the evil, even the beautiful things. You look in the mirror. It's vanity, you see. The vanity reflects back at you all the evil, and you just see the evil, and it goes down into your heart. The mirror got shattered. It went into Kay's heart, and he saw only the worst in humanity. And then he goes off with the Snow Queen, in the real Snow Queen, and then Gerda goes, and Gerda saves him, and Gerda's a young woman who saves the boy that has been led astray by beauty, because Snow Queen's beautiful. I'm not sure if he sees everything as ugly, why that he made off with the Snow Queen, who's like... Anyway, it's complicated, isn't it? It's not as simple as that. Anyway, there's an awful lot of psychodrama in Hans Christian Andersen, which is not in Disney. If you look at Frozen, you've got the sisters. You've got a whole thing replaced by the sisters, and it's a jolly thing that in the end, everybody, the sisters triumph. So it's more positive, really, but it's not the Snow Queen. But the Snow Queen is one of the few Hans Christian Andersen ones. In the real Snow Queen, it is the real Snow Queen story, though. This is what you do when you adapt a story. You take all the good bits, and some of it's gory, and you get rid of all the stuff that doesn't suit your agenda, and it doesn't really matter what you do with it, especially if there's more than one adaptation. Then you can do what you want with it, and that's the thing about Little Mermaid. There's loads of adaptations. You can do what you want with it. Not that many Snow Queens, but you can do what you want with it. I've never seen a Frankenstein that is faithful to the book. I've have seen a couple of Draculas that sort of get there. But there's some that do good things with the story that aren't quite as gory, that are a little bit more gory, that have lots of story. Okay, Philip, story. I will see you soon. I hope you have a good phone call. So, the Lord of the Rings. They've done something with that as well, and people have got something to say. People have always got something to say about anything. Well, I like it. I've only seen the first episode. I didn't like it that much because I didn't watch the second one yet. But I liked it enough. But Lenny Henry's in it. He's playing a half-foot. Oh, I like Lenny Henry. Lenny Henry's good. Lenny. And other people are in it too. There's Morvind Clark. Is that her name? Morvind Clark. And she's Galadriel. She's a very young, thousands of years younger than the Kate Blanchett. Kate Blanchett's not in it, is she? Is Kate Blanchett? Yeah. Is Kate Blanchett. Anyway, thousands of years younger than Kate Blanchett, Galadriel. Thousands of years back in the deep and distant past, in a fictional tale that never existed anyway, in a whole time of, yeah. Anyway, and Game of Thrones, that one, there's a prequel to that, which also, you do what you want with it, because it's fictional. But what my point was when I said the real story, the real fictional story, but there's a whole concept of death of the author. Once the author has written it, that's them out of the picture. You can do what you want, especially if you paid for the rights. Or if it's out of copyright, one or the other. You can do what you want. And even if you have paid for it, you can do what you want. Have you seen Adaptation with Nicolas Cage? Which is an adaptation of the Lotus Hunter, I want to say? No, the something hunter. Anyway, Flower Hunter, which is an adaptation of a book or a New York Times best-selling thing that was made. Anyway, it was a book that the whole point of the film is how hard it is to adapt the film, and so you've got two people, a screenwriter and his twin brother, that are he's trying to adapt the film, and it gets all complicated, and it's nothing to do with the actual film, although I think Meryl Streep's in it as the author of the book, the original book, not the White Lotus, you know what I mean. Anyway, yeah, all the young dudes, yeah. Oh, that's the Harry Potter fanfic. Yes, exactly. Is it transformative work? Transformative work. Transformative work. Transformative work. Yes, there's a whole archive of fiction that is fan-based. And some of it is good, and some of it is less good. I have written a lot of that sort of fiction. And I'm not going to tell you where or how or what name I wrote and anything about it, except that I did write it, and it has lots of what they call shipping in it now. What they used to call slash. Not like the guitarist. I just enjoy doing that sort of thing. Almost 20 years ago now. And there's a lot of it around, and I haven't done any of it for a while, but yes, the transformative work. It's very, yes. And what you do with that is very much not based. It is based on the characters and the plots maybe, but tangentially, really. You take the characters and you take maybe elements or recognizable elements and you change them, or sometimes they're so not recognizable that you can get away with like changing them completely, and like Twilight fan fiction turned into 50 Shades of Grey, I think, and Twilight itself was probably based on something else, but you know, Stephanie Meyer's never said anything about that. And obviously Cassandra Clare wrote City of Bones and that sort of thing. She very much started, I think she started with Lord of the Rings fan fiction ages ago. I don't know whether you know that. So she's very well known because when she started, that's it. Back in the day, the fan fiction writers all knew each other. And when some of them changed, you know, they took a longer piece maybe and changed all the names again, and so that it was unrecognizable as the original fan-based piece. It was a sort of riff on it. It became something else, and people made money out of them. People made money out of something that was supposedly sort of based on something else, but was in, you know, an alternate universe, or so distanced from the original that it was no longer the original. But people would still go, to the fan fiction writers. 50 Shadows of Pink, yes, exactly. Oh, Song from David Bowie, yes, all the young dudes, yes, exactly. It's based on all the young dudes. But it was also a fan fiction, Harry Potter fan fiction, which I haven't read because obviously Harry Potter fan fiction is better than Harry Potter fiction, but only just. And I do know people that wrote lots of stuff about Harry and Draco, which is a little bit, well, if you want to, but obviously I've never written fan fiction based on that, and J.K. Rowling is very much against that sort of thing, which is a good reason to write more of it, I think. In fact, write all of the fan fiction based on that particular book series as you can. And J.K. Rowling this week has also written another book, Robert Galbraith book, which a lot of people are talking about because it does sound god awful. Let's be honest, she's not the best writer in the world in the first place, but when she, at least Harry Potter back in the day, was amusing-ish and caused a lot of young people to have some joy in their life, and even older people. So there was a bit of joy involved. For some reason, people really liked it. And lots of people have made money from it in the films and spin-offs and all sorts of stuff. And I still know people that still get a lot of joy in the Harry Potter oeuvre and universe. Don't mind the quality, feel the width. Oh, yes, exactly. Anyway, so they do, but Robert Galbraith books are a little bit on the, you've gone too far, Miss Rowling. Are you Miss? I don't know. Also, why are you writing under a man's name when you very much say you don't like that sort of thing? Maybe you're a bit of a hypocrite. I'm not the first person to have pointed that out, I'm sure. Pretty sure. But this latest book sounds really terrible. It's 1,200 pages or something, which is quite long for a book. Especially a book that's not very interesting. And especially a thriller book. Because a thriller is supposed to be tight and exciting and well written and not just hundreds and hundreds of pages of pretend forum posts and Tumblr tumbles and Twitter threads, which is apparently what it is. That from the people that have read it sounds like they're very much from the same person. You know, they're supposed to be this person talking to this person having an internet argument. But from the people that have read it and the extracts I've seen on the screen, I'm not going to buy it, have been very much, So, yes, if you're into that sort of terrible, turgid, boring, offensive, unforgivably terrible, badly written, unedited, unexpurgated, totally rubbish stuff, then good on you. If you want to read that sort of thing, then you're probably not my sort of person, but good on you, I suppose, whatever. if you've got to spend your money where you have to spend your money, and if you have to spend your money on something that is going to go towards a multi-billionaire that has said some pretty horrible things about several different groups of people, then that's up to you. Now, I'm sure I'm not making any fans in the J.K. Rowling genre, and I'm sure that J.K. Rowling, if she's got any power, will not help me in any way in my career, which is just as well because I didn't ask her to. But, yes. Anyway, so what's happened this week? Somebody's died, we've got a new king, we've got a new prime minister, we've got a new J.K. Rowling book, we've got a new Little Mermaid coming up. And that's about all that's happened this week. It has been a week! A whole week since I saw you last. And everything in the world has changed. I don't know whether for the worst or the better. It's just changed. So, I don't know what the next week will bring. We're still not allowed happy music, which, lucky that I never gave you any. And no more comedy. No comedy, so that's lucky too that I didn't have anything that was in any way amusing or musical in this half hour and a bit. And I will see you soon. I have no doubt. And I will see you next week unless they have put me into the Tower of London for daring to talk about whatever I've been talked about. What have I talked about? I can't remember. It's all a blank. Bess, thank you for joining me, and I will see you soon. Have a lovely week. And oh yes, or mourn. And just so the Queen is dead, long live the King, is what they say, and that is not in any way anti-monarchy, because that's the thing that they say when these things happen. You have to move on. We've got a new king. Hurrah. Yeah, anyway, see you very soon. Bye-bye.